Fling Show. The Fling Show. Y'all wanna know about the mystery of flight. You wanna hear about the scene done right. So kill your TV and just come outside. We're gonna take you on a beautiful ride. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show.
We ready to go? Aha! Well, welcome to the Fling Show. Thank y'all for joining us this evening. Man, what a weekend we had. We finally had the FA2 and FA3 divisions. What an incredible event it was. It was so much fun. Just the competition alone, it was wonderful. I'm going to save some of that for Meredith because we have some special guests this evening, and we're going to get it all into who won and how it went down in just a little while. But I hope that y'all got to enjoy the video that we shot this weekend live. Every shot, every round from every competitor. It was just incredible. But just to lead into that, just in our small 7 months time, I had to look back and see. We started this April the 17th, and we're not even 7 months into it. And within that time, amazing things have just been coming our way and what we've been able to accomplish in those moments. And as I was looking down to, we've already decorated 8 new members of our Wall of Fame, the Fling Show Wall of Fame. And by doing so, in doing that with the ace runs and also the time where McHemi played Chris Vandegrift, the Fling Show has already accumulated almost $7,000 in donations, in prizes, in waffles and artwork that we've done. And all of that has gone to either charities or they have gone to the players in our community and in our area for the events that we do. So I just want to have a big shout out, thank you to the team that we have here. It's a pleasure for me to be a part of it anytime, all the time. So I'm just amazed. But I want to go ahead and just turn it over to McHemi and talk about the great weekend before we get on to Meredith. What did you think about the weekend?
I had a blast. I'm ready to do it again.
I know.
It was just fun hanging with you guys. Matt, thanks for doing your film work, and Meredith, Chris, just getting out there and getting all the footage that you can and just being a part of an event. It's really special, I wanted to say something to the ladies who might be watching. We're not trying to put pressure on you, or we're not trying to make it uncomfortable. We're trying to do as good as we can to stay out of the way. We realize that the pressure is there. We understand that, but I know it makes you better, and it's really fun to watch how that develops over the course of a tournament. A couple of rounds, how you settle into those nerves. Everybody's nervous on the first few holes. Did you have that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But I just wanted to say to the ladies, it's not, we're not trying to make fun of this or anything in any way. We just like being a part of it, and it's really special. Chris and I, when we first started off with this thing, right off the bat, we said we wanted to support ladies and in the sport. And Chris has this heart for rec and intermediate, and I cover on the old guys and the masters,
the pros,
and
the good
pros,
players.
yeah. And I know some dudes, and so we said let's give it a run. Let's see if we can bring some attention to our locals, and that's what Chris has been doing ever since, and it's just been an organic growth. It's really fun to be a part of, to see how it's taking shape. And then Matt came on board and makes it a lot easier, so we don't have to do as much technical stuff. But
He makes us look better than we should.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
There's no doubt about
and he's
it.
also working on our website, and I guess it's live, or it's about to go live. And it looks great. I mean, it's really a nice thing to see. Everything's consolidated, all the videos and all the merchandise. We're getting it uploaded now. I'm trying to get as many pictures. We've got some new spin dies. I'm discovering that I really like the turntable. and as opposed to setting them
He's a
in the bed.
musician. That's kind of funny.
But I realize everybody does dies, but I like to try to bring a little bit of my art to the discs, and hopefully that'll be an ongoing thing. We almost got 50 of them done. I'm down to 8 discs.
Luckily, I've captured some of this for dexterity on video of him making this stuff. It's quite impressive, to be honest with you. He took the time to teach me, the remedial artist, how to do some of this as well, and it was so much fun. I had a great time that I went and bought all the stuff and equipment for it, and I can't wait to do it just to have fun with my own stuff. So it's beautiful work, that is for sure. Very nice.
Well,
it's up there with his artwork, with his trophies as well, which I think the ladies today might have a little bit to say, because those trophies are absolutely beautiful. It's always amazing that while there is money involved, you tend to always hear at the end, every single one of them, it's the trophy they want. It's the trophy that they want. That's cool. Of course, that means that you won, and I know cash is good, but those are one of a kind. So I think we all would like to have one.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Hey, we all have made a run at it, except for you. You haven't. Meredith made a run at it. I made a run at it. Got close.
We need an old fart division.
It's coming. It's happening.
Yeah, we've been beating over the head for that one.
No, we're doing. We have. That's the old guys.
We have 2 more to go. The old guys and the Wall of Fame members are all going to be playing against. Not the old guys, but the Wall of Fame members are all going to be playing against each other in a match.
I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna find the venue. It's probably going to be Wynwood or something like Wynwood. It's got some course separation on shorter holes and fun. And so we're going to try to make it competitive for all levels, and maybe give them an advantage. I don't know. We're going to have some way to have fun with it. You know.
Oh, okay.
Like we can make the open players throw offhand or something.
Freddie plays blindfolded. Something. Yeah. We have to do something to Freddie. One eye. He only gets one eye. He has to cover and throw the other like that. Something with Freddie.
Freddie has to drink a 6-pack before he starts.
Right.
We've never seen Freddie doesn't drink, so we're gonna make him drink a 6-pack.
A shot after
like
every,
one crutch,
after hole.
like you have to throw with a crutch.
Yeah. Figure something out. But anyway.
All right.
So let's get back to the ladies. Meredith, from your perspective, how was that? Because I know you were talking about being excited about it. Did it hold up to your expectations?
Yeah, all the girls were super pumped, and so that, you could feel the energy in the air, and it's all friendly competition, and everybody loves each other. So it was such a great experience to be there and feel the energy and get started. And I think everybody just played their heart out because they wanted to make it to Spring Valley. And so I was so glad to be a part and actually get the video of those that made it to Spring Valley. And I know that they had the extra nerves going on. So Kelsie, I want to introduce to y'all our FA3 champion, Miss Kelsie Sweeten. I'm so excited for her. Now, it was a battle. She's had some strong players on that card at Spring Valley. So tell us, what was going through your mind there, Kelsie?
So Northside and Spring Valley are the 2 I play most now, which is crazy because 3-4 months ago, I was shooting ridiculously bad at Spring Valley, but I kept going back every single week. I'm like, I'm going to conquer it. Me and Dom were like, we're going to get it down. And, so I really wanted to make it to Spring Valley. I know a few times at Northside, I even, I told Sloth when he was caddying for me, I was like, why can't I play like this during league? Because I just had so many much better holes during the Northside round. And then we got to Spring Valley, and I didn't feel like I played as well, but he was like, you're still doing better than you do at league. And I'm like, cool. Why can't I do this good at league? But I was so nervous. And, I've played all over the world, so I've been in high pressure situations, Best Women's last year I won, and just big tournaments. But I've never been as nervous as I was at Spring Valley in the first 9 holes because I wanted to win.
And it's harder when it's your home turf, right? It's almost you overthink it so easily.
100%.
Definitely.
So
yeah, it was awesome though, and I wanted that trophy because it was cool. And I come from like a family of artists, so I was like, anytime there's art, anything involved, I'm like, I need that.
Awesome.
I'm glad it got to come home with me.
I think she posted like within like 20 minutes of being home.
I know, I'm like, I got to get my post out the way so I can like rest. But yeah, it was pretty exciting. It's already in my trophy cabinet, hanging out.
Yeah.
It's resting well. That's so cool.
Well, by the looks of it, you'll be filling up that trophy cabinet pretty soon. You played really well, and also the second round, I got to just spectate and take pictures, and I saw some really good form. I mean, I think you're doing great, and there are a couple of shots in there. And you said it. I think I got the horse mane flying out for you.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look at the pony.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Actually, and that was, I think that was Finesse 18. And I had no idea, like, I was about, like, to win. And then we finished that hole, and y'all are like, oh, you won. And I was like, what? Like, because skins is still confuses me. And when y'all told me that, I thought y'all were, like, lying to me.
Well, reiterate a little bit on that. We've done 8 of these now, and it's quite entertaining to hear each person's view on what it's like to play match play. And then, of course, going into the skins play at the end is a little bit different. So when you got into the match play in the first one in Northside Christian, how long did it take you to kind of realize how this match was going to be going, and how conceding or not conceding, and how to lay up or not lay up? When did you realize that you kind of got a grasp of how to really play it in match play? And then obviously it sounds like you didn't catch it to skins because they had to tell you that you won. But did you ever catch a grasp where you're like, okay, I kind of got to feel how this is going to have to be played?
I think round 1, we kind of played our normal game. I feel like we weren't too I don't know, like strategic about it. We just kind of played. And so it just felt more natural. Skins, I think there was a lot more pressure. And I honestly, like, a lot of the skins I got, I felt like were just good timing, good luck, because there were a few holes where I was like, I can't believe this is happening. And then, we ended up somehow like pushing the hole. And then, the next hole was in my favor. So it was kind of just like a shocker. Every other hole, you never knew what was going to happen. But I get what y'all were saying, where you're like, you kind of start rooting for the other person. You're like, okay, well, if I know I can't do anything on this hole, I hope that she pushes it or whatever. So that was kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as, well, I guess for when we got to Finesse 18, I wasn't even thinking about how many holes we had left. And so then I was like, when y'all told me that, I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense, because nobody can catch up. But it just, like, I was not even thinking about that. I was just trying to make it to the next hole, and then I didn't even have to play it. So that was cool.
Well, I was really glad Sloth was caddying for you, because I knew he had a handle on the score. And,
oh my God.
It kind of allowed to be creative, because, as an artist, a kid of an artist, you get in this creative zone, and I can't keep score. I mean, even in rounds that I compete in, sometimes right after the round, I can't add at all, because you're different, totally different zones.
So that's so cool that Sloth didn't even tell you that, hey.
Oh, and he totally lied to me on Finesse 16 or whatever. He thought Rachel, I think he kind of thought Rachel was like also about, like, we were about to push the hole, but I think then he realized, like, oh, she was about to take a 5, but he told me she was about to take a 4 just so I wouldn't overthink my putt. So he kind of lied to me, but it, like, was because he knew it would benefit me. And I was like, we're walking away, and I was like, did you know? And he's like, kind of. I was like, you lied to me? I was like, I'm actually thankful you lied to me for once. So you can only do it in those situations.
He Sloth scolded me on hole 20 for telling you guys what the score was.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that?
I was there.
Yeah.
I remember him. And I was like, what's he getting on to? Like, and I was like, oh, I feel you, because I don't really want to know,
So you guys weren't playing the game within the game, but Sloth was. That's what I'm getting here.
Mm-hmm.
Sloth was strategizing.
And I'm just like, whatever.
I think they really think of it that much at that stage. And I think once you do get higher up, and it really can mess with the mind. Mm-hmm. And so it's best to just be like, play each shot, just keep, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
one shot at
Yeah.
a time.
That's exactly.
And that's what going into next like league tomorrow when I play Spring Valley, like I'm gonna try to take that mentality with me, because it's like, why don't I think that way? You know, be more strategic every round. Like, why don't I use that? I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Different game.
Well, I can't remember who I was walking with and talking with. We were talking about the strategy of it all, and I said, don't overthink the strategy. Just play your game, hit your lines, hit your putts. Just don't go for any stupid ones if there's a pond behind it or something like that. But you know, you can definitely overthink match play as well. But it all went your way. I really thought I thought Susie was gonna kind of sneak in there, you know.
She started out strong. I mean, she got those 5 skins like within the first 5 holes, and I was like feeling like I was falling behind, and then I somehow got a few here, a few there, and it worked out.
She
It was
drained on hole 4, I think it was. Good long, I don't know, 35, 40 footer. I thought, okay, this might be Susie's day. But she kind of got nervy after that, you know, got the deer in the headlights.
One of the things that I heard from Andy, which I thought was very complimentary of both of the rounds that all of y'all played, because she likes to watch just about everything, even if she watches it later. And I kind of thought the same thing. And I've kind of seen this in each one of the tournaments that we've done so far, is that y'all's finesse game and up flick shots, standing still, is so nice to watch, because a lot of times in different situations when I play, it's such a stressful thing for some of the players, but it seems so natural, the finesse and the flip and being able to play those flex shots and flip over shots. It was really beautiful to watch, especially when you got into the tree. I mean, I hate to say that I was amazed, because I was amazed, because I don't shoot like that, and B, it looked great. And I'm not talking about for you, because I didn't film you a whole lot. I filmed a lot of other of the competitors as well. And I remember Andy saying that to me, and I take that as a compliment to what the skill level of the ladies brought this weekend for sure, is that touch game is so well crafted. You don't have to have the power that you see a lot of the other competitors play with. So it was really neat to watch.
So true. Yes.
Oh yeah. I know. I always I love the finesse game, which was why I was glad we were playing finesse, because I was like, if we're playing any of the power holes, like I'm in trouble because I don't have that power. So
I was going to ask if you noticed this, because you probably play with her, but Susie's putt, it almost just completely runs out of gas before it hits the chains. And it's kind of an interesting thing. I thought she was kind of just nervous, but that's the way she putts. There's like absolutely no spin on that disc, but she makes them a lot. You know? Really good.
Yeah, it just kind of like plops in there at the end.
Yeah, except the turbo.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kelsie, for joining us tonight. And I'm so proud of you for taking that championship crown for the Fling Bling. And stay tuned, because you may have heard, but we're going to be playing up against some awesome ladies, putting, match play, all that. So we'll keep you in tune. I know you want to be a part of that. So thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. And thanks for doing it. It was a blast.
You bet.
Good talking with you.
Good night.
Talk to you later, Kelsie.
Bye.
Good night.
Man, she was awesome. She played so well. And from what Dave said when he came back to me, he said she really played consistent, even though you just heard her say she didn't think that she was playing so well in that skins match. But Dave, you said that she was probably the most consistent of all in that last round, huh?
Yeah. Well, she just, just to the eye, she looked more like the pro, like she could move up.
Yep.
That's the thing.
I played league with her for a while. Spring Valley, Chicks Chasing Chains as well. And seen her game, it's so consistent now. She's got that beautiful flight. It's beautiful to see, because I was there when she started, and it's really
her putting form is. Shooting the last round with the camera, I was able to get a lot of frames in, and I got a lot of her putt where she was bring it down, down the pocket. It reminds me of, I don't know who that is, man. It's somebody in
Ricky
Wysocki.
No, I think
Not as exaggerated, but
Montenegro.
I don't know.
No, not Montenegro. He's more like me. He keeps it on the plane.
Right.
She really drops it down low and but pops it in there.
That's cool.
But yeah,
Well,
congrats.
Yes. Let's move it on to our FA2 champion. We have with us Katie Maddox. I'm so excited for you. What a battle that was. Thank you for joining us, Katie.
Yes, thank y'all for having me on.
Yes. Girl, I got to film the FA2 on round 1, and that battle went to the very, 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 very end. It was intense. So, like, I can only imagine how your round 1 went. So I'd love to hear how that went and then your thoughts going into round 2. Yeah, and I have comments about your game as well because, oh my gosh, girl. Woo!
Yeah, round 1 was definitely a battle. I was actually down almost the entire time. I don't think it was until about hole 16 or 17 or probably around 15 that I actually caught up, tied it back, and then we just kept tying hole after hole after hole until the very end. And then the very last hole, I was finally able to pull it out. I had a solid drive, and it just felt good. But the whole time I was so nervous. That was my first time outside of league really competing. So it was definitely nerve-wracking for me. But like you said before, the atmosphere there was amazing. All of the ladies are just so fun to be around. It's a nice, fun, relaxing but nervous atmosphere, right? It's still fun to be there. So they made it a really fun time.
You blow my mind because you're like, I'm so nervous, but yet you've got the most relaxed game I've ever seen. You literally go up there and you just like park something that only men park, like Finesse 3 Valley. I mean, I don't know, where'd you get your game at? Because I'm impressed. And yeah, I mean, you just like, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Please tell me. Is it just natural?
Yeah, I think it's that I played so long without keeping score. I mean, for 8 years, I played off and on, never kept score, never knew the rules, never read the rule book. I never knew that there were leagues out there. I didn't know this was a thing. And so for 8 years, I just played and it was all relaxing and fun. And then all of a sudden, COVID hit and we decided we needed something to do. And we started getting into this. And I met Shannon, and she invited me on to the Chicks Chasing Chains, and it just took off from there.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad that you connected.
Did it take you a while to learn how to say Chicks Chasing Chains?
Yeah, I still can't say that. We need a different name. It's a tongue twister.
It's a good logo. It's hard to say.
Yes. Well, I was fortunate enough that I got to film every one of your shots on both rounds. So what Meredith just asked you, I got to witness. So obviously we need to give a shout out because that first round against Alicia was incredible. She can play. So we need to give her a shout out. And I know it was kind of hard to watch at that last shot on hole 2, which was y'all's finishing hole. And she pulled a muscle on that last shot, and you could just tell because they had battled back and forth. And she is so right. I watched the whole thing. It was back and forth. There was really, Alicia was playing so well, and it just went back and forth. And there were a couple of missed opportunities by both of them. I think they were nervous, especially at Northside Christian, a putt that Katie had made in a couple of times. She didn't make on 16, I believe it was. I think that you had that hill and just kind of lofted. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It was like a 10-footer.
That first round, you were right, that Alicia. But I would like to go back to what she had said. And I'd asked you, and you didn't kind of answer that question. We had talked about the sport in which you had played, and I think that has a lot of reasons why your flick game goes so far. And so, what sport was that again?
It was tennis.
Mm-hmm. So you see, and the first thing I asked you, I said, I noticed that you don't roll your wrist. And what did you tell me about that? Because in tennis, you what?
Yeah, can't roll your wrist in tennis. So I do think a lot of the finesse, because I loved a finesse tennis game as well. So I think a lot of that did translate over. It helped me a lot.
Okay. That, and if y'all not only did we haven't gotten, I'm going to get to the most incredible shot, but I got to get to what you were talking about as far as flicking further than the guys. Hole 14 at finesse, you know, it has the little river that goes right behind it. She flicked it right into the water. Most people that I play with barely get it to the tree by the basket. Even Andy was sitting there, and Andy was like, oh my goodness. Now, I do have to say, do you remember a lady named Andy who walked up to you and said, hey, how long you been playing disc golf right after that shot? And you had asked her a question. Do you remember what that question was?
Did I ask her how long she'd been playing?
You asked her, she actually said you asked her if she played at disc golf.
Yeah, I never met her before. I thought she was just like someone's mom that just showed up out of nowhere. I had no idea who she was.
She's our mom.
Do you know who she is now?
Oh yeah, I do now. Yeah, we got to chat, and she's a great lady. I love her now.
She laughed. She thought that was so funny. But when she told me that, I go, now she's. That was so cute. That was awesome. But yes, your flick game was incredible. But I do want to also talk about that shot, that 70-foot putt flick shot that you had at Northside Christian. That was just incredible. But that was like a question I had asked Kelsie earlier. When you're playing that match play, when did you realize that sometimes, you know what, I just got to go for it? It doesn't matter if I miss it or make it. When did you start feeling comfortable with what match play really kind of meant?
It definitely took a while, because even on it's hole 5, I think that was our hole 3. I mean, even that one I outdrove and shot it out of bounds, because that's what I always do, going for my birdie. And after that, I kind of made myself calm down. You know what? Don't go for the birdie. Just keep your pars. You know, let her make the mistake, which she didn't make very many of. It was very frustrating. She's a very, very good player. But it is a different game. And I've never really played match play. I'd never hardly heard of skins. So that was definitely an adjustment to learn both of those. But I loved being able to have that opportunity to play both. So that was really fun. I'm glad that y'all gave us that opportunity.
That's cool.
It was great having you. Hey, I have a question about your 8 years of not playing league and stuff like that. Because I did that. I had 5 years before I even knew there was a league. And we were traveling around on the West Coast following my wife's career, and we played some really great courses. And it would have been nice to know that there's a Ken Climo in the game, and there's a Paul Macbeth and all that. And I didn't know. We didn't have internet or anything. But so over those 8 years, did you study it, or were you learning it? How were you learning it?
So that was actually one of the first things that my now husband and I did together. He and one of his best friends, they're the ones that I have to credit everything to, honestly. So shout out to Sean Maddox and Dylan Richard. They got me into it. Ever since then, I've just loved the game. We've just gone out just as fun and playing it, and they've always been better than me. So I've always been able to learn from them and learn some of the rules, and then we all just started getting into it a whole lot more in 2020. And then we've all thankfully gotten better from there, and just enjoyed the game that much more, and spent hundreds upon hundreds of dollars more than we probably expected to get into it. But it's worth it. Definitely worth it.
Well, my last question is, we had just talked earlier to Kelsie about skins play, and I'd like for you to kind of give them an idea of what it was like on that last shot when everyone looked at what you did and you almost didn't realize what you were doing. Kind of go through the scenario of how you realized at that moment that what you had to do was counterintuitive what you do during disc golf just to win the skins, which allowed you basically to win the match.
Well, I was actually waiting for that opportunity for the last several holes. But again, Lori is just such a great player. She kept tying, for the lead, and she never really dropped behind. And then finally on what was that, hole 17 or so?
Which is finesse 19 to those who play Spring Valley. It's a new hole that comes out from 18. But yes, it was 17 on your card.
Okay, so finally on that one, Chloe and I each had really great drives, and then Lori's it wasn't quite there. So I kind of had it in my mind, like, okay, and like I said, never played skins before, so I had to really think through this over and over. But it's like, okay, if Lori's not up there, then I've got to let Chloe win this one, because that's how I have to win, and it is counterintuitive, like you said. It's hard to do. It took a lot of thought. A lot of thought process.
And talk about the girls' reactions when they saw what you did.
Yeah, I think Lori was definitely surprised. I don't think she expected it whatsoever. I hope that there's no hard feelings there. Just playing the game that was drawn out for us.
Well, walk them through the shot so they can understand what you did. She was almost parked at the basket, right? I mean, it was makeable.
Chloe's?
Yours.
Oh, mine. Yeah, the putt was makeable for sure,
but Chloe had already made hers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
specifically had Chloe. Yeah, I had her go first, just to make sure she would make her par. And then at that point, Lori had already missed hers for par. So I knew if I threw mine away, Chloe would get that skin and then we could go from there. But man, my heart was pounding the whole time. Like, let me make sure my math is right here. Because if the math's right or wrong and I do this, then it's really going to be bad.
Yeah.
So did you get online or like look it up on how to play match play? Or did you Google it or did you just figure it out?
There's not really there. Actually, the other Lori, she walked me through a lot of that before both matches. I think she's had a lot more experience in that, so she kind of just gave me some pointers, some strategy pointers here and there, just to kind of get the feel a little more comfortable. So I definitely thank her for that.
Oh, Rogers, right? Lori Rogers?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job, Lori.
Way to go, Lori.
Hey, congrats on the CTPs.
Yeah, CTPs for Lori.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now that you kind of jumped into the competition world more, are you going to be, do you have your PDGA number?
I did. I just got that October 1st. Okay. Whenever they opened it up for 2021. So
what's the number? What's the number?
Oh, I haven't memorized it yet. It took me years to memorize my own.
What does it start with?
It's almost as Texas ID now, like number.
It's always interesting because Chris is like, 10 or something.
10.
I can't remember.
Number 10. Like number 10 or 11.
Oh.
You?
That's your number?
Yeah.
Oh, no, mine's.
No, he's a late. He's a late starter too. Yeah. He always says that I'm like in the 200s.
Yeah, he's like number 212.
That's Neil.
But are we up to the 200,000s yet, or are you still in the 190s?
I can look it up. Give me just.
Okay. Well, while you're looking it up, I just thought it was very unique to watch all the ladies' faces when you threw your putt into the ground, because they had absolutely no idea. And like Kelsie stood there and said she didn't really realize what it was like to win it. It was funny to watch them all stand there and be like, what did she just do that for? and you're looking around as if, did I do the right thing? And then you can say, well, if she would have made that, it would have been a push, and then Lori could have tied her, and then she didn't want to do that, so she needed to lose. So Chloe had a skin, and then that way Lori couldn't catch her and make up enough skin. So Lori's putting the pressure on you because you went up 9, and then Lori won with 4, and then there was that 1 for 3, so she got up to 7. So it's 9-7 going into that 17th hole. So whatever happened, she just did not need Lori to win. She needed anybody else, and she couldn't push that hole, because if she would have pushed the hole, then that had given Lori another opportunity. So everybody stood there and they're just stupefied, like, why did she just throw her putt into the ground from 7 feet? It was really funny.
Yeah, so, and I looked over at Matt walking up to my putt. I was like, do I just concede? Do I have to throw the putt? Like, I don't know what the protocol is here, because I don't know how that works.
You could have conceded, but just to make everyone feel comfortable, throwing it into the ground is the same thing, because then your stroke's taken, and then they realize you can't win the hole. But I did think that it was very, like I said, like Kelsie, she goes, I didn't even know I won. It was kind of like everybody else, like, well, I didn't even know she won.
Oh, I did find the PDGA number for you. It's 146374. So not quite at 200s.
No, not yet.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you out and about on the more courses and competing. And it's so cool to see such talent coming up in the Houston area. And I mean, as you said, it wasn't easy to take that crown, and even though you flick like a man,
longer than a man.
Well, so thank you guys so much. Yeah, thank y'all for putting this on, for putting on the tournament and sponsoring everything. I just think it's so cool that there's such a large disc golf community. I had no idea that was such a huge deal in this area, and I love that. I think it's just so cool. So thank you guys for growing that even more, and for all that you do for the sport.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you, Katie.
Thank you,
and Disc Golf is lucky to have you.
Yes,
Congrats.
we are. Very lucky.
Thank you.
Up in the Conroe area, so anybody out there in the McDade, you be looking to take $5 off you per round.
All right. Well, where will we see you next?
I'm not sure. I guess just kind of around McDade, around all the courses, just trying them out. I signed up for that, the Northside tournament, but I know that there were a lot on the wait list, so I'm not sure if I'm getting in on that one. But I'll definitely keep an eye out for more showing up. Let me know if you hear of any.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Katie.
Have a good night,
Katie.
Katie.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was great.
Yay.
Wasn't that awesome?
Hey, congrats.
I don't want it to end.
Meredith on just being a part of that whole
It was so much
Chains
fun.
and yeah.
At first,
And-
I was
and
like,
bringing us
"Hey,
into it.
y'all aren't signing up," but they came through with abundance and so much love and support.
Yeah,
It's
and
been
thanks for
awesome.
putting that together too.
Meredith did an incredible
Y'all.
job. She has been wonderful in putting this together. I cannot wait to see what we do with the Austin crew versus the Houston crew. This is going to be great. I cannot wait because I know the competition. They're all just like wanting to get in there, and I just want to say thank you so much for having another idea of putting another ladies bracket in together, and B, being able to get two separate ones in there was just incredible.
Yeah.
16 women. I know Hemi said this 100 times now, that every time we see what the Chicks Chasing Change is doing, it just blows our mind.
Yeah.
It does.
And seriously, this is that one instance when we can say we couldn't have done it without you. There's no way,
Aw,
because
that's so
you have
sweet.
that, you have that reach with the ladies, and it just would have seemed weird.
We're fortunate.
I'm taking back to the
Okay,
first time
I get it.
we went and filmed Bandit, and you introduced us as not two perverts. Basically.
Yeah, it is kind of hard.
But it broke the ice.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes.
I'm
Yes.
seriously, you did help us
Yeah.
there, because we're just there to enjoy what's going on in the sport.
And thank you,
We're-
ladies, for
we're
letting
happy
Hemi and
that
I
just-
inside the ropes filming you, because
Yeah.
it is one of those things to where we're just trying to promote y'all and make y'all look great, and we just want to be there to help, and for y'all allow us to do that, and like Meredith hopefully calmed y'all down about who we are as people. It's just been awesome.
Y'all are a
You know?
hoot. I tell them.
Calm y'all down as people. I like
Well,
that.
most of them said, I kept hearing all of them go, yeah, Meredith says you're mean. You're the mean one. I was like, mean? I'm not mean. And I tried pretty pictures. Did I dig with the
You
pictures
sure?
this time?
Your intentions were good.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Except for two of y'all, and I fixed them.
Yeah,
quick.
you did a
Susie
good job.
and Lori, I fixed those pictures. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Y'all had makeup on. I thought it was a good
Thank
picture.
I told y'all he had good intentions.
I did. I tried.
He really doesn't.
Hey, guys, y'all.
The guys, he don't care.
Yeah,
He does not have good.
I've learned Photoshop. Y'all in big troubles.
Yeah.
So,
Seeing a donkey in the backside, the face
are
can
we
go
really
right
gonna
there.
do like an old fart division?
Well, we're I
Yes.
think so.
Did I break the?
We don't have it. We don't have a date, but we've been talking it up
Yeah.
and talking about it.
We got knocked over the head by the last time when we went and played. That we had 16 people ready to go. So I think that we'll be able to do it. It's just whether or not the number or the age. It's the age. I think that some
Yeah,
are
we're
like
trying to
50
figure
and
out-
over,
Oh,
and
what's-
then others
what's
are
fair?
45 and younger, and
50 or 40.
40, 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
So-
thinking 40 and up, but I mean,
But then that throws away a lot of the 55-year-old guys. Are like, I
Yeah.
can't compete with that.
we're
So
trying to figure out how.
they're all
how to do
grumpy. Grumpy old men. That's what I figured out. Grumpy. Because I'm one, so it kind of works out.
that. Yeah.
But anyway, I want to turn this last part over to some incredible news to Mr. David Hemmerline.
Yeah.
Some things that just transpired over these last 2 weeks. And I'll let David have the floor on this.
All right. Well, he's talking about our little ace run that we did on Halloween, and teaming up with Tim Martin over there, and then as we started getting ready for this event, not too much into the planning, Justin says he's going to come through and give half of his Toys for Tot fundraiser auction that he did online, and he ended up crushing it and getting like $1,400 or something like that.
Yeah.
with some good merch that was all his, I'm assuming. Then
No,
people pitched in.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Sloth and a lot of people donated stuff.
Because of
Incredible.
COVID, he wasn't able
Mikey
to
Siebert.
run a tournament or something, so he just did this online thing. And thank you, Justin. It means a lot. I mean, it's such a great gift to give, and can't wait to give it to Tim on Wednesday. We're going to be meeting up with Tim. We'll do a little photo shoot, and Chris has got like a 50-foot
Check.
that
Can come on
he's
the
got
side of
ordered. We're waiting on from Amazon.
cool.
No, he doesn't, but we will present them with the check, and it's a great thing because I see two things happening. The kind of the birth, and Andy started it with her part 2, but kind of the birth of shorter courses that you can go ace every hole. I like that, or warm up for a tournament. Or I just like the idea of having a putter course. It's just I don't know, and I see that happening because families come out, and we saw families on Halloween all day long. We saw packs of people, and it was really cool to see our plan worked, because Chris and I have been talking about this for months. It's one of the first things we talked about is having
It was
an ace.
his idea.
Yeah.
It was the ace. It was the
An
art
ace
baskets.
race.
The art baskets.
Yeah, and that part of it I think was successful, and I think now that we have kind of the idea of what we're going for, I think next year is going to be really crazy because you can do some fun things, which we learned with the eyeball, with just sticking a tube and eyeball on a basket. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate, so I think it'll get creative.
Dominique
I love
wants to
the
help.
ghost,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I want to help with y'all next year, and I was like,
awesome.
of course.
So I see that growing, and I see it happening at Woods Edge Church, and I like the fact that it's there. It's such a nice gazebo, and I learned on my way to my car, about to leave, that there was a restroom open, and it was a couple of cubicles down, or whatever you call those things. So yeah, they've got facilities, everything's a go, and thank you, Tim Martin. So I can't wait to get with Tim on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be cool.
It's incredible the amount of money, Justin, what y'all did, and your sponsors, Gorilla Disc Golf. I know one. Mike Siebert was one. Sloth gave multitudes of stuff there. People donated discs to his Toys for Tots. He's been doing this for years, and I'll never forget what he said at the end of the show. He's like, at the beginning, he says, I've been doing this now, I guess, well over 10 years, and this is the most they have ever had donated during the Toys for Tots. And you got to talk about during COVID, people having problems with jobs. It's just amazing the giving community that we have in the disc golf community, because we saw it during our event for the Halloween Fling Bling as well. It was the Halloween Fling Ace Race as well. The $600 there, the $700 there. Tim Martin was just amazed. I'm amazed. I'm just so amazed at it. I cannot wait to go give that to him. But the only thing that I want to say before we go also is I'd be remiss if we didn't want to go ahead and thank again Sheldon Jefferson, what you're doing over at Northside Christian Church and helping us with getting that course in the shape that it was. It was absolutely stunning. Andy and Don Young at Spring Valley once again. Thank y'all so much for having us and putting up with us and allowing us to have that as our closing course for the championship. And Travis Diller with LSD Disc and those shirts that you made for the ladies were just absolutely beautiful. We've gotten great reviews on those whatsoever. We are fortunate enough to team up with you. It's been a pleasure so much. I know that Lucky Ace wants to get together with us as well, so we are going to be doing something with them. And so it's just a whole family atmosphere in this area, and I cannot wait to see what else we do, and especially what comes out of this guy's mind, because whatever comes out of his mind, we put it out there, and it just seems to be organically beautiful. And so I'm very, very, very happy about it.
Pressure's
So,
up.
but no pressure,
Well,
because it
thank
just
you.
comes from within. There's not really pressure. He just all of a sudden will say, "Hey, what about?" And the next thing we do, we talk, narrow it down, and then we make it so. The vision is here, and then we give it to y'all. So I hope that y'all enjoy it, and y'all been so supportive. So thank y'all so much.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good
Enjoy it.
night.
See
Till
you
next time. Peace.
The Fling Show. The Fling Show. Y'all wanna know about the mystery of flight? You wanna hear about the scene done right? So kill your TV and just come outside. We're gonna gonna take you on a beautiful ride. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show.